Hey everybody, it's that time of year again. PLS 2024 is going strong, and it's time to look at all the new stuff, what's coming in the future, and what you should be looking forward to for your next show. So let's start with the projectors, and probably the most hotly anticipated item being released here at PLS 2024 for us is the new Clubmax IP65 enclosure. Now this is going to be a new sub-range to the Clubmax series for the new 18 watt, the 24 watt, and the 40 watts. This is going to be an amazing touring fixture. Leave it outside on a festival, no problem. They're all going to be coming with motorized dicros by default in this case, so you'll never have to open it to a line. You can do that remotely or from the FB4. We've even done things like the FB4 has been made IP rated without having to have a massive weird cover on the back of it. So we're able to do that properly, IP key, and of course, all the Nutric IP connectors that you could ever imagine and want, which is really exciting. The 24 also now has a new option, which is going to be the Saturn upgrade. We kind of shaped the beam a little bit more, allowing us to have a little bit better and be able to fit it on a Saturn V, which is going to be really exciting. For permanent outdoor installations, we still recommend the logo loss, but for all those touring applications where you know it's going to rain, especially in sweaty Orlando, this is going to be phenomenal for that. So really exciting coming forward with the new IP65 Clubmax. Now the next thing I want to show you is we have a demo here of a new product that we're working on and kind of finalizing, which is motorized masking plates. These are gonna have a built-in four-way masking plate that can be controlled remotely. Now, right now we're doing it via DMX. So if I put up these channels, you're gonna see all four of these shutters, or these masking plates coming in. Now, this is currently in the Atom here on the table. We also are working to fit it in the new Clubmax IP ranges. So for all those big shows where lasers are put, 30 meters, 50 feet up in the air, you're gonna be able to shutter these safely and do it from remotely. Now, right now it's from DMX. We're hoping we can get it implemented kind of on software side and whatnot. But this is gonna be really exciting as well. And the final thing that I wanna talk about that a lot of people have been looking forward to on kind of the lower cost line is there's now going to be a raw FB4. So you can get a Unity raw laser with a FB4 inside for direct control. And you can also, we're kind of splitting the ILDA model and the FB4. So the ILDA model is going to become the raw DMX, and it's going to have a simple DMX player in it plus ILDA. And then the raw FB4 is going to be available with an FB4 so you can do direct control. So a lot of people kind of for working at home and working on kind of programming environments, that's gonna be really exciting, so we're excited for that. All right, so now let's talk about Beyond. Now obviously 5.5 has just been publicly released, so you can go to the wiki and download it now. As well, I want to plug the wiki, as I always do. You can go to the latest features tabs on the Pangolin wiki for Beyond, and you can see all the new functions there. We're just gonna cover some of the bigger ones, and you can see all the details, see videos, see the manual, so go check that out. But first, let's talk about some of the big stuff. Now, the first one is Mobo Laser. We have an app now for iOS and Android on your phone where you can control some basic functionality of the software. You can select cues, you can do things like zoning, you can use it as a timecode preview, so if you want to walk around the space and make sure your timecode's still running, you can do things like that. This has both applications for basic stuff, for interactivity and kind of more basic use, but it's a nice little toolkit for those on the professional shows. That you can just connect. You need a wireless connection of some sort, probably for your phone. You can use your computer's mobile hotspot. That's another great way of doing it. And you simply connect by it'll find itself on the network, or you can use the QR code and scan it through the app, and it'll connect to the software. The next major thing that I want to talk about is Qshift. Now, Qshift is a new interface item where you can basically do offset effects built in kind of these pads. And what it does is it uses the live control variables, and you basically can set an A-B variable, and this is an oscillating effect. So the first one is zoom, and between A and B, you can see that the size changes. So this is a zoom function, and then you can apply it, touchscreens, you can apply it in an amount with the pad and with a direction with the pad. So this will be an interesting way of doing live control. You can use all the live control parameters, and you can use them all at once. So you can build one pad that does a rotation and a zoom and a color all at the same time. This will be really useful for those doing the kind of traditional live control for MIDI controllers and whatnot like that. Now, the next thing I really want to show you, because I know a lot of people are going to be really excited about it, is the Node Image Editor. And so a lot of people like to do visual programming, they like Touch Designer, they like things like that. So we have a new thing called New Node Image. This here is basically a chipboard where you can place LFOs, you can place content, parametric images, like whatever, and tie them together to create whatever you're trying to do. And so what's really nice about this is not just all the things you might expect, it's also, you can access things like in the object tree. So if I create a chip for something, you can also basically use this as a PangoScript tool or an object animator tool, but in a visual programming language. So those who are familiar with this style of programming are really gonna love this, and there's a lot of stuff that this is gonna unlock for those people, especially if actual Pango scripting is not really your thing, or actual kind of using the object tree, or the object animator. So this is gonna be really exciting for those people. Now, there's some small stuff, but the last big one, and the one that we probably need to talk about, is gonna be 3D Preview. So this is the 3D Preview. It allows you to visualize your show, but the 3D Preview is kind of it's a little misunderstood at the moment. It's not a visualizer. If you want a pretty visualizer, we're not trying to compete with Depends or Capture or all of those products. What this is more about is information. Now, when you understand where a projector exists in space, so if I select this projector and I understand where its position is in space, that gives you a lot of really interesting information for later on. And I'm not going to dive into what that means exactly, but those of you who use lighting consoles or understand spatial awareness can probably use your imagination to figure that out. But that's more of a 6.0 conversation, where this is ready to use. So we decided to release it now. Why is it on Ultimate? It's because the functionality that this is that the position data enables is really an Ultimate feature, but in its current states, there's no reason for us not to release it. So instead of holding on to it and keeping it from being out there, we decided to release it. There's a bunch of other little things like Ableton Link and Pango Beats and so many other things. So check out the wiki to figure out all those little stuff to see what might be useful for you and what you might like. There's manuals, tutorial videos, and all that stuff. So go check it out. So hopefully you came to PLS 2024 and saw the show and we saw you here. If not, go check out the show next. It's quite the treat.